pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I thought there's two small grammatical errors on third paragraph, essentially down. High risk, program HIGH, and then the last line, Matt would like to meet, instead of that. Other than that, one of those changes for the motion improvements for Tuesday, January 21st.
With those corrections inside, we approved minutes of Tuesday, January 21st.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Yeah, why don't you give us an update on what you guys are working on?
After the meeting last Tuesday, me and Chris and Matt met and discussed the firm to do the inspection of the job, and we awarded it to, we haven't heard, but we bid it come out at the top score. The second score was
BG was first.
BG was first.
I think Schwab Eaton was the
I think it was
second.
Schwab Eaton. It was pretty close.
Well, we was second,
I believe so.
and BG Consultants was first.
Right, that's who will negotiate it first.
We got Joe on the agenda for this. So, Joe, you ready?
Yes.
on the sidewalk there on the north side of the courthouse, it's still getting work shape every year, so I didn't know you wanted me to look into the pricing of getting it replaced. The city should pay half of it, but we will go through them to get it done. Also on the east side, there's some concrete that's right at the foot of the stairs, which wouldn't qualify for help with the city, it probably should be done at the same time. And if you have interest in doing that or not. And the parking lot that we looked at on the vacant lot over here in the past has been dropped. I don't know, we're still not looking at that anymore.
I believe so. Yeah. What about guidance on sidewalk? I mean, what do you think offhand, I mean, as far as cost to replace, I mean?
That's fluctuated so much with the concrete prices that but if you're interested in, I can get us a solid price on it. It's not, it doesn't cost anything to do that. If you didn't have an interest in it, I didn't want to mess with the city's time and the contractor's time on that.
Sure.
with that.
Did you have any budget for replacement this year, or how did we?
The only thing I had would be the major repair, and I don't know what was put in there, and last year we took $17,000 out of it that was supposed to be put back. I don't know if it ever got put back, if it's going to, and I don't know how much was approved this year. Major repair.
Okay, well, we take 17,000.
It was the architect, for the Memorial Hall, we didn't have the funds, but
Oh,
when you
okay.
borrow the money, you're supposed to have the funds, and.
Yeah, well, that was in Marvel, there was money appropriated for that project, so we just didn't have it for that. So
Right.
I think we want to replace that.
No, we didn't. Transfer.
Well, it should have been.
Last statement I had was that not been replaced.
I mean, I guess, it wouldn't hurt for you to solicit bids, I mean, you're gonna solicit.
Well, the city will give me the price because they pay X dollars for that, so they will give me that. And then they go out with the contractors, they do that part.
Okay.
That's the city, and they split the funds of it. I can get that first. Do you have an interest in it?
I don't think it's gonna hurt to look at it.
Depends on what the cost is.
How much sidewalk is there? Like,
I have measured it. It's, and I'm not even sure if the gel side of it, and I don't know who pays for that. I don't know how that's budgeted.
Well, it all comes out general, so we all pay it.
Okay, well, I didn't know.
Is there damage down there too?
I haven't looked over that good on down, but I will look over the whole thing, so I wasn't sure if it was last year, I wasn't interested, so I just wanted to check before.
That's probably about newer, but
It is.
that'd be a lot newer than it's out here.
Yeah, on the east side of the courthouse seems to be good. I think there may be some damage to what I'm saying. I don't think the whole thing would be replaced, but there may be some sections or something. And all the road probably should look at the whole thing. The other thing is, for me, don't have internet where I'm at for Memorial Hall. I go through the recreation, which puts them in a bad place. I've been using my own card for several years now, but I would like to do away with my card. It's an internet card, so I would like the county to pick that up and pay for that. I talked to Kyle, and it was, I can get one for $40 a month, and it's because of the discount I get, it's the cheapest way to go get it.
Okay. Have you put in a request with IT?
I talked to him about it.
Yeah, you talked to me about it. I'm looking at some other options. Since he's in town, he should be eligible for either AT&T Verse or AT&T DSL or Allegiance. I'm trying to shy away from Allegiance because they have a pretty checkered history with us as far as quality of service goes. Trying to get a lot of the problems we have with AT&T resolved before I open new issues with them. And so I've got some issues that we're trying to work through with AT&T in the rescue building and on the transfer station. I'd like to get those solved before we start doing something else with them. As well as waiting on the DOT first for the evaluation.
You feel that's the proper place for your office down there?
Yes, I don't know what else that would be.
But, yeah, I was curious too, why you weren't up here at the courthouse, but this is probably your main.
Well, I do a lot of the work at Memorial Hall for them to eliminate the need for another maintenance person to be hired in the county.
I thought that's normally all board trustees that maintains it.
They do. But rather than give the Memorial Hall, because in the last 30 or 40 years, they haven't given, no, they haven't gotten an increase in that amount of time, and they were needing an increase in order to maintain the building. Rather than do that, I was there to assist them in a lot of it. I can't do, a lot of it, but I can do the day-to-day stuff that has to be done. Now, Jan does the cleaning, so I'm talking about the actual maintenance of the building. And it's just a cost savings for the taxpayers for me to do it that way. I mean, there are some things like opening the building in the mornings early for the walkers, that, they have to hire somebody to do it. So, and like I said, they haven't gotten a raise down there in 30 or 40 years, and we checked it. So that was what the commissioners came up with, they needed to spend more money.
Who hasn't gotten a raise?
Memorial Hall has never gotten an increase in their funding. Matter of fact, they've actually lost funding in the last, from the county.
Okay. Good question. I thought this was one I'm curious too. It seems like most of our facility, or our biggest chunk of our facility is located right here, so.
Where I go, I pretty well split my time up. I don't think that there's, Tom takes the courthouse and been here for a long time. I do help him with, here and there, same way with the jail, two village, health department, and in all the buildings a little bit every month. And that's just the way I spread it around. As far as anything that I have to do any given day, would only be Memorial Hall. I will take all the heavy bags of trash out, because the lady that cleans can't handle it. Things like that.
That says that it was found last week or a couple weeks ago with the mold. Did you find it?
He hasn't got back to me yet with it. I guess the samples aren't back. I called him a couple of times and they called me back. We did take samples of the room under it, the room next to it, that room, and the outside sample. And we looked at all of them, we couldn't find anything that was suspicious to me.
I don't think there's any harm in looking to see what it costs, I mean,
Okay.
doesn't miss necessarily anything, so.
So that's all I had.
Check.
Thank you.
I've got 3 purchase orders, one for information technology and one for two for emergency preparedness. The information technology one's gonna be reimbursed by EMS for 3 iPads. The 2 emergency preparedness ones are for some commercial water bottles we ordered and, copies of Microsoft Office for the laptops we purchased with the UPG grant. We have to have Microsoft Office on the laptops if we're gonna use them for training purposes, because it's required to run CXC. And that was kind of an aftersight that we recognized when we started installing CXC on the registered deeds computers last week. And so,
how's, CIC rollout going?
Going great, the new server stood up and installed. We cut the registered deeds officer last week. I myself am just a little loose.
Some of it's processes just like
I myself noticed a difference in performance already, an increase in speed and response, using the new server versus their old server that they had in their office or already decommissioned, so I think that once we get everybody cut over, they'll be pleased with the response of it.
and what's the next one that's scheduled?
The next one scheduled are noxious weed transfer station and road and bridge. They're all scheduled for February. So transfer station's the first, and then noxious weed and road and bridge are next. It's February 7th, I want to say, or February 14th is when we're gonna do those trainings.
It says all the data basically it's all been transferred over from the old server to the new.
No, they'll pull, the closer we get to the training is when they'll pull the noxious weed and road and bridge
Oh,
data.
so you're doing department,
Yeah.
okay.
So they pull each department's data at once, that way, they wanna do as close to when we're gonna mine it as possible, that way there's not a month time span of when they either can't use their software, or they have to re-enter stuff, to eliminate double entry as much as possible.
Never just extra copies.
Oh, sure. Okay. Yeah, so yes, I think some places must give, I don't think they pay.
Is that the water bottle thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you order so much, they put it on the kind of free people, they put it on the invoice as a non-bill.
You might relay to, try to use local suppliers on those in the future.
Okay, absolutely. The CDW, the only reason we went with them on the Microsoft Office is because they have the ability to allocate towards the volume licensing,
Oh, yeah.
which is Microsoft managed licensing, ease of delivery and download it, and if we ever have software on it that we incur, they maintain all the records, so it's pretty much hands-off for us.
We have word on, like, the computer you took out of here today.
Mm-hmm.
Can you install that on a different machine if you're going to just quit using that machine?
Yes, you can transfer your licenses from one machine to another, if it's still a supported license. Microsoft only supports back 2 versions, and so like say we had Word XP or Word 2003 on the computer up here, and we decommission that computer, no one will be able to transfer that. Because you lose all your service packs and updates and stuff, but pretty much countywide, we're either 2010 or 2013, so as we retire a computer, we move them around, we can reallocate them.
Thank you. Thank you, Al.
I had one resolution, and it's to, Voyager Council out some outstanding checks back to 2010, get them off our books.
Okay.
By statute, we can go back 2 years and cancel. And I did, a lot of them are, witness fees or juror fees. People don't cash their $10 checks.
And this is Boyd's amount.
Yeah, 2 years, 2010 and 11, we still have 12, 15.
We're gonna check with, Don and see if we can pay them cash instead of check, and then have them sign their form right then when they get their money. So that we don't have to have problems like this in the future.
Okay.
Most of them are just for witness fees or jurors.
Yeah, I said most of those
People
are
just don't want to spend $10.
10 to 30 some dollars. Oh, 2 copies.
No, it's printed 2002.
So it's resolution 2014-688. We need a motion, vote to cancel.
So moves that resolution number,
Sorry.
Resolution 2014-1388 to void checks dated back to December 15, 2011, and they're listed on the sheet.
Yeah, attached sheets.
I second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Carried 3-0. You might inquire with the auditor too, I doubt if they probably want you to do cash, issue cash, you my assumption for tracking, and I'm sure there's probably a reason why they probably don't.
Yeah, but then we don't have to run into these issues, but we'll check with them.
And you can talk to them. Okay. What kind of bills are those? Really a good one. Needs assessment. They aren't signed on the requisition? Okay, never mind.
Yeah. Any other new business?
I really want to discuss this truck, I know Matt's not here, but I think we could discuss it a little bit and decide if we need to get a secretary here.
Sure.
I happened to stop in at Foster, excuse me, Foster Ford. The other day, looking at the used truck that Matt asked me to look at, that they'd contacted him about the work done. So we got to visit, and I said that Matt sometime this spring was gonna be bidding a new truck, well, he's already bid it, or put out to bid specs. And, my question is, I think in terms of it, I think they have to be in by the 14th of February, and scheduled, according to his, that they be opened on the 18th.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'd have some questions or concerns, being you've got this bidding out, I wouldn't stop concern, I'd like to consider bidding an alternative vehicle. Bidding a diesel, bidding a one-ton truck. Those are probably the two major issues that I think I've seen on here that I would question is whether or not we might want to consider, knowing that there is quite a bit difference in price of a diesel versus a gas, and there's quite a bit of difference in the price of gas, that we might want to consider the price of a similar unit with the equipment on it with a gas engine, and maybe a 3/4 ton instead of a ton. Now, without about him being here, I'm not saying that, but I just want you guys' feedback on that. Otherwise, I think,
Let's get it right now. He's got 3 quarters.
I honestly can't tell you whether that's a 3,500 or whether that's a 2,500.
I'd say to get both prices. Have them do it both ways.
How was he bidding that out? Was he going off state contract or GSI contract, or how did he do it?
Well, he just submitted this, Foster got a copy, and I'm assuming Lewis got a copy.
Okay. I wonder if he looked into state contracts. See? The state, there might be state contracts on those vehicles as well.
I thought there was, when Wes got his, I thought that.
I'm pretty sure there is. There's state contracts with both like 40 inch.
Yeah, I think, I think they do honor that whatever the federal or whatever the government discount is, as far as that goes, just a matter of whether or not there's, whether they can beat the state price.
If you already said he's already submitted, he's already sent those out.
Yeah, because they haven't, I just mentioned it to him that there would probably be one, and he pulled it out.
Interesting.
What truck was Matt, was you doing one personally for yourself, was Matt taking it?
No,
Or Matt?
Foster actually taught, I don't know whether he'd seen on or something similar, but they have there is a nice, it's a federal government truck, 3/4 ton truck. It's actually even got an aluminum, toolbox on it. You know, it's stripped down, doesn't have anything power, it's got, you know, manual windows, but it's a good sound, look like a good sound truck, but it's 10 years old. And I just thought the price that they was asking, knowing that we can get a truck like that through the state, you'd be much better off buying something new. Because, you know, I mean, a 10-year truck, the mileage may be low, but the little things start happening. You get electrical problems, you start getting brake lines that are leaking, and and I thought the price. Would you have, was there something else on
The crew cab,
well,
he took workers out, I guess.
well, but there's been, I know a couple times when we went down to view the Arrington Bridge, he'd pick up a couple people, I mean, that crew cab, I mean, it's actually not bad, it throws some stuff behind there, but there isn't a lot of room in there. I mean, the crew cab, he's got an extended cab or crew cab, either one. And even Lauren said they don't know yet, there may not be that much difference by the time you get the government factor in there, whether the crew cab would be much different than an extended cab.
So what did he send, did you see what he sent out for bids? I mean, this is all he sent them?
And that's the specs right there.
But he didn't say like alternatives, like you said, like gas or... How do we handle that, Chris? I mean, as far as, I'm assuming he sent these out until he had a date already set for opening bid?
Well, you're not obligated to buy.
Yeah.
Well, I know, we could reject any and all bids, but we have to wait until then before we send out alternative bids?
No.
Okay.
No, that's what I'm saying, that's
Okay.
what I told him on this, I said, I think the commission would like to, I'm not trying to micromanage, I just like to look at the alternatives and weigh out, because my personal, you know, even the EMS is went to gas engines. I mean, a lot of people are going now. They claim that the Ford new diesel engine is okay. Well, the last one was okay until it started having problems. So I know the upkeep and maintenance on a diesel engine is quite a bit more, and you can figure right now, about 60 cents difference in price of fuel, over a 5-year period. I think we're looking at $78,000 in price. And I I know he's got enough money in his budget to easily cover something like this, but the same token, if we could save $7,000-8,000 and put it towards, I know he's gonna need a work truck or two during the year, so that savings then could be transferred over into, next year.
I'd also buy a plow, $7,000.
Correct.
Yeah. I don't think it hurt the price, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, you should have some alternatives. It's an awful big pickup for what he's doing. All these different-
I noticed he had the remote start on it too.
Because they're not, it's not always standard. Chris, would you be able to inquire with Matt, see who all he sent bids out to?
Yeah, I can send an email, he said he'd be checking his email and stuff. And then if we need to, we can make a change and ask for an alternate bid for, so you want a 3/4 ton gas, or do you want a 1 ton gas, or?
Bid it with 12.
I think you could bid both, because
Yeah,
sometimes
both,
there's not
okay.
that much difference. I don't, they're basically, I think my understanding, they're basically built on the same chassis, so.
1 ton diesel costs you a heck of a lot.
So we'll just do everything else the same, but change to gas engine and then add another one that adds 3/4 ton.
You know, if he wants to respond, I mean, I guess I'd want to find out what he has now and why a 3/4 ton is not sufficient.
Chris, I think what you'd have to do, you'd have to price a 1 ton of gas, and then price a 3/4 gas and 3/4 diesel.
Okay.
Yes,
That's the way we would have all the bases covered.
yes. So you'd have like 4 different stuff.
Yeah, we have some options.
And if they go out to the same vendors, I'd just suggest that we extend that bidding time process and maybe not open those bids, give them another week.
Maybe another week.
That way we can do them all at one time. If it's,
Is this something that you could go by Foster Ford and ask them, and maybe you or me or Chris or someone go to us and ask them?
Well, I think you could just send it to him, I mean,
We'll-
it's a formal bid process.
We'll find
You're
out,
sending them out.
we'll just find out who he sent it to, and we'll send these alternate stuff, the same thing, and extend it 1 week.
I mean, what little we've had so far, it looks, both of them have been very, I don't think you're gonna gain a whole lot by trying to go too far out of county. I mean, I realize it's Jackson County, but
Mhm.
at the same token, I don't know that, I mean, reaching out to more Ford dealers or more Chevy dealers is gonna give us.
No, I mean that, I mean, like if you was at Ford, you could just tell them to also bid a ton gas.
I think we need commissioner's blessing on that, and Matt can come, I have no problem with Matt coming up and defending his position as why he would want one or the other, but, there may be enough significant price difference that, you know, it won't.
And what we'll do is we'll have them, have a date set back 1 week on the opening. We'll actually open the bid on the date they're open, and we'll bring the bids back a week later with his recommendation as to what he would like you guys to consider.
You wanna make sure it's based off state contract too, so just verify that.
One of the problems with giving bidders a whole lot of options is that you sometimes don't get bids that are really apples to apples. You know, some of them might pick something, you know, they might pick a 1 ton instead of a 3/4 ton, thinking that they think that's what we want. So if you're going to request the alternates, I'd be real clear that you wanted more than 1 bid. You don't just want this.
Basically, we want 4 bids, one,
Yeah.
Yeah,
1
you
ton
have that for-
diesel, 1 ton
Well, there's one
gas,
item on
3/4
there.
diesel, 3/4, gas.
There's one item on that sheet that Lonnie told me that Ford's gonna offer, but Chevy doesn't. It has something to do with a package or something, if you're gonna mount lights on there. So he said there will be a discrepancy in that. He said Ford don't even have that, so you have, there'll be an add-on price. you'd have to buy a package somewhere else. It's one of those, who's does he have, oh, here it is. I think maybe that was, I'm not sure, he's even got it on here.
It's not the roof mounted lamp. Beacon.
No, I was trying to think it had to do something with that unfiltered switches. So what he did is, the spec page, there was two items that he hand wrote in down there. But on the second page, rather than photocopying me 2 pages, he just hand wrote it on the front page and photocopied me the front
On
page.
the conversion options, on the second page is AM, FM radio, TV player,
Mhm.
and provisions for cab, roof mounted lamp
Okay.
beacon.
All right, what they're gonna be, okay, that, area, I don't understand, but something that Chevrolet has that Ford don't, before he said something about, he would be bidding this filter, this unfiltered switch thing, I don't understand, Matt would have to explain that to us. So there would be one item that's not gonna be apples to apples. And Ford's will definitely be a 2015 because, the owner, Scott Foster, came in while I was in there, and he said Thursday was the last day they were building 2014. That's this
I
guy.
think Matt had mentioned that he had to get it ordered because he was gonna quit taking orders on the 14th.
Yeah. Well, Matt even said he's not in that big a hurry, so. Yeah, I think he wanted specifically a gray, but I think that's his. A couple of them, I think they're trying to get a similar color coding or something along the lines.
Any new business?
Will we have enough information here in a few days to begin working on our budget transfers? By the first week of February, we have to wait. Will there be enough, the bills, I mean, it's usually early February.
Didn't you say like February 10th or something?
10th.
Or was that last?
That's when we usually
Okay.
give them until, I mean, anything,
To get invoices. Does it really take that long, some people, to get stuff February 10th?
sometimes,
Make sure they're clear.
sometimes it doesn't. All depends on if they ordered it on January 31st.
December 31st?
December 31st.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I think end of January, give people enough time to get
That's
stuff
fine.
in.
Well,
Change
I
it
don't-
for next year.
Because I haven't looked to see how many he has out there to,
Maybe
on,
change
for the
next year.
third, or 2013.
I think there was some of that front building that said they'd have one more thing for 2015, but that was last I remember hearing him say.
We can look at them and see.
Oh,
I like your right.
yeah.
The only other, another thing I didn't bring, do we know when county government day is, do we need to start planning if we're gonna have somebody come in
They haven't heard
from the
Atchison.
Atchison family and stuff, okay?
Was that March or April?
It's usually March, isn't it?
Usually March. Jerry Henry said that the one down at Topeka's February.
Yeah, that's general. That's the state county, whatever they call it, different day, yeah. We didn't sign up for that, so. I wouldn't mind having a 10-minute executive session to discuss a matter of non-elected personnel.
Take 10 minutes. Two o'clock, about 2 o'clock.
Yeah, and to include, I would make that motion, and it will include the county councilor, county coordinator, and the 3 commissioners.
Motion is second, all in favor, signify by saying aye. 3-0.
TSA 75-4319, B1.
Two, oh.
Pat, have you had any contact from state of Kansas on health insurance? Have you had any more contact with them? Okay.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Well, I'm ready to answer, if they come back.
Yeah.
If they come back, I'm ready. I mean, you want to talk about a hypocrite, they're doing everything at the state level to push stuff onto the county so they can say they're saving money. Here we're trying to do something, save money, and then they think they want penalize you, so
I feel if we get to this next month and we don't hear nothing, I should just say that we're not on the door.
you know, whatever, it is what it is.
And then we have wellness stuff scheduled for February, is that correct?
February 21st is the blood drawing, isn't it?
26th,
February 26th.
6th.
9/11, and that's here.
Probably right in this room.
And that's not for the spouses, that's just for the.
I'm gonna check.
You said February 6th? 6th.
It may be for all insured. I'm not sure if that, I'll find out if that's employees or not.
What is that, which is just the wellness?
That's the wellness screening. I'm thinking if it's insured, then it probably would include spouses. I think the expense comes in for those that aren't covered in the insurance, that won't go through.
If they want to do it or not, they don't have to do it.
They don't have to. Because right now, it's only based on, the incentive is only based on the employee.
Typically,
And that's also physical? You have to have physical too.
There's 3 things on the wellness program. Your biometric screening,
And then doing the
the online assessment or paper assessment, and then your physical. Are the 3 things that are under $500.
Oh, I had a question yesterday. Are we covered under LabQuest at the hospital?
I sent an email, I haven't got anything back yet.
Okay.
Whether the
Now, the
lab work goes to request or not. Had some issues with the lab work.
You're gonna get me a 4, because I got a physical set up for next month, but that's my physical a year ago, that don't qualify, does it?
That's too much work. Sorry.
Just haven't changed the date on that one.
There's a typo. This is
20 what?
The typo, it says 13, but it's 14. Oh, it's not in February yet.
It says on Arnold Schwarzenegger that it might go down.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I can't remember, it's 11 to 12, I can't remember what my physical was. I'll try to get whatever paperwork I need now, do we just show them our health card? And the company, because preferred health card, and then show the,
No, we
and
can't.
then
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
the billing is paid, picked up by the insurance company?
Yeah.
Is this for the wellness?
For the physical, yeah, just,
They pay the office visit and the physical.
Yeah, that's better.
unless they determine that there's something that they need to treat you for at that time, then they'll bill you for that part portion of it.
What, I was gonna say, I had my pet in December, so can I just have a physical in January? My blood pressure and stuff.
Well, as long as it's considered preventive, it's free.
Is there a physical somewhere that shows what's preventative?
There might be in
What's that thing that we?
either in the booklet or in, but you can also probably look online.
Look on the website and find it too.
Do you have any problem getting your cards printed off?
No?
Let's see.
We had to call in, but once we got the member ID, then we were able to go in and print out the card.
But you had to get one for every member of your family, right?
Yeah, I don't know why they do, like, card for some of their family, I think it's got to
Yeah, are you talking about this card, or are you talking about the debit card too?
No, it's just a card.
You
Oh, I
have to
know.
print those, I just got it.
Yeah, for some reason, he didn't get his, so you probably should get some in the mail.
Probably too. You can print out like temporary cards though when you go,
But one of his daughters need to go to the doctor.
ear infection.
But you're gonna find out if the spouse has to come in for the virus.
They don't have to. It's whether you want it, whether they want to or not. I think it ties to the insurance, if they're on the insurance, I think it's covered.
Then I called and they mailed and they went back, they're supposed to.
So I want to find out for sure.
You know, just the same thing, there's really not any.
There's no benefit to, other than if they want to know the numbers.
Yeah, I think you're drafting the resolution for joint communication.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, okay.
He's doing this, and I'm doing the letter.
Okay.
We have, 3 kids to go into protective custody this afternoon, so I need to go.
Okay.
Do you have any more?
I think those are.
No, I just got 2 or 3 things I wanna put on the future agenda, put in for any work session or open session. What else that, I think it's time, I think sure, early February, I think Tex ought to come out and give us a,
I've already talked to him.
Oh, he's coming up.
Yeah, I talked to him a couple weeks ago and requested that, so he said he's going to put it together and put on the agenda, so apparently he,
how extensive are.
Yeah, what kind of reports do you do?
I would really like to have the report before they come out, instead of giving us a report and then talking to us. I'd like to have the report so you can look at it, see what's there.
So we'll have questions when he's here, not after he leaves.
Right.
He's coming up on Tuesday, February 11th at 2 o'clock.
Fair enough.
I won't be there that day. One of the class days. I'll get ahold of him ahead of time.
Well, you probably have access to that.
I'll send an email and ask him to send us the report ahead of time, and I'll get it then.
What else data are you requesting from him?
I just said the year-end report would include his financials and his runs and all that kind of stuff. Is there anything that specifically want to see?
You have a copy of the contract. There's some stuff in stipulations of the contract that's supposed to be in there.
Yeah, because you added that.
I think is that in year 2 in the contract this is we have the option of extending the contract. We're supposed to let them know about before the end of year 2, whether we're gonna extend, we've got a 3-year contract, so that's why I think it's important we just start seeing where we're at now, because we'll need to be deciding, whether you're gonna extend the contract to year 4 or year 5 or whatever. So. I knew you requested that anyway, we want to see if there's any handles, and I didn't.
Thank you. Thank you. What's that?
You were gonna check into this, maybe next Tuesday we may know something about it.
Well, if we can get Pat and I and one of you guys,
You
see when the,
want to take that one on?
Pardon me?
You want to be on that?
Well, I don't know if you guys
So, track
well, Matt won't be back till
Yeah, that one.
second week of February.
Yeah, one of us should be on there. One of us should be on there.
One of us should be on there.
So we're the ones that are gonna handle it.
Well, maybe we need to.
You're super fast tonight.
Your vote would be more.
What day?
Would you?
I don't know, it's basically when they are gonna be able to accommodate the meeting and that fits Pat's schedule.
Okay, just shoot me an email, that's fine.
Well, yeah, you could, your vote, you, that's fine, I think that's.
What I'll do is I'll send an email to Pat and then go, because I think I've got their emails, and I'll send them an email and see when they would be able to meet. I'll try to get both of them at the same meeting. Be a lot easier than trying to meet with one of them and not knowing.
did track openings, you still want it on the 18th, or you want it not?
We're gonna do the 25th,
Huh?
the 25th and week.
25th?
Yeah, we'll make sure we get that in that rebid and ready with it.
Mhm.
So the pickup, right, right?
Right.
Okay. Oh, at the same time, 1:30? That's what he had, 1:30? And he also is having bid openings on bridge inspections on Tuesday.
That's fun. Yeah, at some point we need to start discussing what they've done, what, you know, I think he's still collecting data on bridges. But we need to be starting to discuss how we're gonna approach some of that, because I'm sure we're gonna have so many requests, there's no way you can handle.
Last week, he started setting up crews to, get a visualization and on the culvert route, the two, not bridges, but
On the ones that you could.
the ones that don't qualify as bridges, just to write them down so that we can, because we're gonna plot those on our, GIS also. So they were just recording those, so that we can, because those aren't anywhere in a map or on a bridge report. So we're gonna put those with that GIS information so that we can know where we have the culvert pipe things and where we have actual bridges. And then through the process, we'll determine which ones can go to those type of pipes. And we can take off the bridge reports. So, but, like Roger was saying earlier, that whole system is gonna be set up to where it's basically gonna give you a list of your top priorities. And those will be the ones that you'll put it at the top, but, based on which ones you can afford to do right away. And just work down that list, then you'll move to your next tier level. And you won't have to worry about anything, well, mine's first or second, we'll go off that list.
Well, what criteria, I think what we have to do is establish criteria.
The criteria you're probably gonna look at are, if there's any critical, infrastructure things with the bridge itself, weight limits, daily volume traffic,
Well, you know, I've got constituents that, you know, you're gonna run into a few of these possibly. It's a bridge that, like, I mean, it's the only way they can get to their land is by a bridge. So now, where does that fit in there too?
It depends on the status and quality of the bridge. I mean, if it's,
Exactly, I mean.
if it's one of those critical ones, then yeah, it's gonna be in that first part. If it's got a good weight limit and it has no critical thing that the bridge inspections have identified, it's gonna be down. Well, we're not just gonna change the bridge because it has side rails. In my opinion.
That's not the point of getting it.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think you guys, you can come up with it.
I think somebody tried to get me the other day that they somehow lug equipment across a ditch. I mean, I think you probably take into account how much is landlocked and why was it landlocked and those kind of things too, but anyway, I think that's just gonna be an ongoing discussion, but I think we need to.
There'll come a point once we get all the information together, you guys will have to determine what takes priority.
Well,
And then we'll build a list off of that.
there's no doubt, we've only got so much time, I mean, we can't do everything all the time too. And so that's the other thing, I mean, you know, the money part is probably won't be near as critical as the time factor and how soon you can get to something.
And Matt was saying there's something coming out recently about a grant
Yeah.
funding, and he was wanting to use those to get those first tier bridges, because they can address the piped culvert type things that aren't qualified as bridges, you know, reducing those down to those a lot easier, so.
Well, yeah, you're talking about that new plan the state's
Yeah.
coming out with, and it's I can't remember, it's maybe 80-20 anyway, but it's
Yeah, I
still,
think it's 80-20.
it's still a cost share as far as that goes. But you have to bid it out to another contractor. It's not, they are a rural bridge crew, will not be able to do it, because it's kind of a
Stimulus budget.
which helps us if we're gonna be pretty active. I mean.
That's one, if you can hit like maybe 3 bridges that are on the same stretch, you may get some economy there. So, I mean, that's something you'd probably target that one, to something like that.
I got a real stupid question. Can the county ever set up a plan similar to what the state and federal have, in other words, a cost sharing, in other words, if you want to accelerate the improvement here, I mean, I know we're responsible for the bridges.
Yeah, you could probably do that. I mean, if they're willing to do that, with the townships or with the landowner.
What?
But I think if you look at landowner,
We can't afford to do it, all I'm saying is they may have to decide to divvy up another mill or two here and there, and I'm not saying on every bridge, don't get me wrong. I know this is not a politically great question, or great point, but at the same token, we know what's created part of the problem, so those of us who help create the problem maybe have to help solve the problem, rather than put it entirely on the county, and that's why the townships exist as they do.
I don't think, see, you'd be picking up part of that 20% cost share or whatever with the state. The state doesn't care where you get that money, where the cost share comes from.
Well, yeah, but you may not be, if you get on that state plan, you may not be, I mean, I'm talking about some other,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, if you set up a 5-year plan, and this is what you're doing now, do you want more? Okay, let us know, and if you want to be a player in this program, then we'll set aside this much money, and you can do this bridge, and it's an 80-20. Yeah, I mean, I'm talking about something that we can do ourselves, so I mean, you know, a $40,000 bridge, you know, they pay 20%, we furnish the labor yet, but they still pay 20% of material.
Right. I'll check, but I think that shouldn't be an issue.
Well, I'm not saying we have to go to it. I think we need to throw it after these townships as an option. I mean, some of them, if I say, well, you guys are responsible, that's fine, well, okay, there's only so much money, so this is as far as we can go. And that's why they are township trustees, is to make those decisions for their infrastructure, whether, how much money is spent. I mean, there's quite a disparity in mill levies of our townships. I mean, we're the highest among the rest. But I guarantee you, we have probably a lot better roads than most of these others. I mean, a full-time grader guy that does a great job, and it's well worth the money. I was a little concerned at first, but then I see what's been done with the amount of money that they levy. I mean, we're talking, I think the levies are ranging from like 15 to right here.
6 or 7.
I don't think there's anything below double.
But your levies will fluctuate depending on valuation.
Yeah.
Each per mill value is
And
different.
Gilman's is the least value, which theirs is higher.
Right.
Shannon has higher value.
I understand, but what I'm saying is, if they raise their budget, then they have to raise their mill to compensate for, and it may only be, I look at it this way, if it's a 1-year project, you raise it 3 mills for 1 year, then it's gone the next year. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying they have to permanently raise it. Yeah, it ranges, of course, you get Shannon, Shannon's got, they're 9 mills. Okay, but they got $15 million valuation. I realize there's a difference in there, but I mean, say Grasshoppers, they went to 28, but we're facing the same thing, guys. I mean, we're facing the same thing. If we wanna do something extra, we may have to raise it, from time to time, or make cuts and this and that, so I think that, as long as you got the township system, I think it better be a part of it. Well, I know our obligation, and I'm willing to do what our obligation is, but if they want a little more than that, then it's up to their township board.
Well, with the situation we got, we're gonna have to address this pretty aggressively, pretty quick, because it's getting worse by the day.
It doesn't get cheaper by the day.
No, what costs you $100,000 a day, it costs you $150 a year.
Well, and I think, my personal feeling, at the same time, as we're addressing the needs of the bridges, we should also be addressing the idea how much this road is accessed, so that we're prepared if we do the 2-mile road, with a 2-mile rule, that we know that this, why do anything with this bridge, because this road would probably be falling into that 2-mile rule.
I wonder if when Roger gets these maps all put together, we can say, okay, if we go to the 2-mile rule, what's that gonna leave us? X out the ones that's less than 2 miles, so we kinda know, we may have to go to 2.5, we might be able to come back to 1.5 miles, with a line bridge.
Everything pretty much the way you want to get it to, you can't go on there. There's not very section.
Don't you worry, like the counties that usually go to the 2-mile, though, they're further out west, they don't have anywhere near to run.
So me,
I don't think they'd have probably near enough streams and creeks and rivers.
it'd be different.
Is Salina a county system or a township system?
I can't answer.
I'd be surprised if they're not, I bet they're a county system.
But just because you go to the 2-mile rule doesn't mean that you're in a position that you can say, I'm not fixing this bridge or this road. You don't necessarily have to do it all the time. I mean, I don't, and we don't have to address that. We'll see where we're at before we get there. I just as soon not go there if we can help it, but.
We were talking with like Leavenworth County, see how their system works, if was somebody that talked with them.
Yeah, we did talk something about that, because they paid a different, they got a little different system down there.
Well, they sort of do, they sort of don't, it's that system where
the county maintains it, but there's separate levies for each prior
The township doesn't.
prior township where they pull in,
But they-
has a separate levy. So essentially you have like, kind of what we're talking about, sort of like, each person that is gonna pay a different
So in other
levy.
words, they still levy through the
Township.
township.
Yeah.
The county doesn't.
Township
doesn't
can
work.
decide how much.
But the
it's
townships don't get it, the county gets it.
Well, yeah,
It comes in a separate account.
correct, it goes to the county, but they keep like separate accounts for each prior township road that they maintain. There's a couple others that did it, Potawatomi or somebody else that did it. I thought somebody was gonna talk with,
There's just a handful of them that do that.
I reckon all of that Stacy, probably put us in touch with whoever.
And then another thing was, has, the city, well, no, we'd be interested maybe sometime in March having another just county summit. Out there we could have the legislature, that's what they enjoy to have, legislative thing, and then we could start talking about any ideas for shared resources, we will have solid waste update a little bit by then, and maybe we could present, I mean, a lot of them don't have, well, there's a few of them on that city where we're staying, the 911 system, maybe somebody could present between West and or Jack or something, could talk about the deficiencies in the 911 system, begin discussions on that. Anyway, that's really down, something on Mars, so I think we need to talk with I'll take care of, once we kind of get something worked out with the city of Atchison, what might work for them, I'd be willing, even if we sponsor, we've had 2 outside the city, if they wanted to pick a spot here in town, we would have it here in town. So, the only other thing I had on is, and I'm not throwing this on you, but I think we need to start looking at what it's going to, if we, on the county lake deal, what is it going to cost us to fix that thing up, like it ought to be fixed up? If we're going to continue to maintain it, know it.
I think we should survey the public and see what they think we should do with it. Like what amenities they want added, or that probably help us, that give you an idea of what you need to
It
spend.
wouldn't hurt, to find out, as far
You
as.
got comments that was negative, so I got comment that was positive, so they didn't even know we had a county lake, and he said it needs to be more publicized. But we just heard from people who live around it, and it ought to be what the majority of people.
Well, there's no doubt, I'm not arguing that. Under the statute though, we do all have to, it has to be, anytime you sell county property, it has to be 3-0, so whatever you sell has to be a solid 3, so. But at the same time, I'm not saying you have to fix it up, but I'm just saying that, some of the people that really think that they want to use it, well, here's what it's gonna cost to fix it up, now what do you think?
You almost have to define what uses you're gonna promote there, because if you're gonna throw a lot of hunting, or is it just gonna be fishing, or,
Well, I thought after the first year, the hunting was over.
March.
They gave permission
through
March. Do we ever follow up to make sure they're doing that correctly, as far as permission? Do we ever follow up on that?
That's the way they do it, is they have to report in and get permission. But that's, whether they're doing that or not, I assume they are, she said that's what they're doing.
We may have to address that too here in March, so we,
No,
so they'll know what the new policy, and if we, the other thing is we go into, if the dumpster is limited out there and we decide to go to this barrel rental fee, they need to be instructed how, we need to help them set up a system how we're gonna do that. And so, that's, something else to consider, that actually falls into line with, I think, and Chase can come up during, whatever works for him, but we need to kind of get a little update on how things are going out at the landfill, and, if it works, we can discuss it in open session, if an afternoon is better for him, that's fine. heard a lot of positive, but we've heard a few negatives. I think we need to stay on top of them. And,
Heard, Justin John, the new,
Public Works.
yeah, he was giving us pretty comments about the system that's running out there. Cause they're running a big chunk of trucks through the system really well. He was pretty impressed with the system.
Well, I'd rather hear more of them than nobody there to help me, you know. I think we have to establish a policy. I mean, if it's an elderly person, you know, I don't mind helping, but I mean, and you need to help them back in, but, I mean, I don't think everybody needs to expect our guys, because there is some liability there that they need to have to load their trash.
I know, like, in the ag industry, you can't get up or in truck, but if you're on the side or in the rear, you can help assist. Once you jump up on it, it's a little bit different, I think. Get it, once you get it, you put it.
I guess we're squared up on the scales now, you know. We've paid up on everything on the scale.
Yeah, we issued a few weeks ago.
I think so.
Made a payment, no, was that the final?
I think that's what he said it was.
Sorry, Mr. Chairman, that's all I got. Just
Do
wanted to-
we, as commissioners, want to start having staff meetings, or what, just to start meeting?
I think you can start with now, but I mean, if they, I want to know if there's a concern they want to come up here and address us, just turn around on it. I just didn't address it up here in an open meeting and somebody try to corner me out on the street, because I want everybody to hear a concern or to the public compliment, that's fine too, but, you know, so.
What do you think about, you would meet with each department like weekly or monthly or?
Some weekly and some probably bi-weekly.
Yeah, I always thought I think it'd be great if we could at least have them like up here once a month, I think that'd always be.
But they don't have to come once a month.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying like 1 out of 4, you know, on average of 4 days through the month.
Rotated through,
Yeah.
not on the same day.
Yeah, work around their schedules, I mean, we could be, we stick with this kind of meeting agenda and stuff, it seems like things are flowing a little faster and stuff now, but I'm trying to say that, I mean, our agendas are gonna fill up, but,
Well, if you had enough response, we could also come in every day, meet until that day strictly for that.
You know, if they have enough time, sure
I
they
would
will.
open up and say, I wish we didn't have commitment to them, but yeah, we'll be there in a half an hour, 20 minutes.
yeah, they,
Set that aside.
Well, some of them may just need to, may just come in for, during the work session, and just more informing that this is what we're doing, and
Mhm.
yeah,
not
that's
have those issues.
We would do that today.
Yeah, because really that gives you 8 different opportunities during the month, morning or afternoons for 4 different meetings, that ought to be.
You know, if they're gonna present more something for an action type thing, then we'll do the afternoon meeting.
Correct.
But if it's just, hey, this is it, everything's going great, and this is what we're looking at doing, and then work session will be fine.
You know, we decide on county government day, yourself,
Chris,
Chris.
we'll work out either meet and either Nortonville or something, just.
No, no.
I knew you were gonna say that.
I'll drive to your house.
No, man, what?
I'll drive to your house.
Show you the big town in school.
I think I've only been through there twice.
Everybody, the whole time, Valentine's Day is on the 14th, isn't it?
On Friday.
Pardon? Valentine's Day is the 14th?
Why is that?
Is that one time, is that one, the government day is on the
I think
That's next
Fifth?
Wednesday. Government Day, can't get
The
over
fifth?
next Wednesday.
Isn't it? Fifth?
Yeah, it's next Wednesday.
Anyway,
Yeah, oh, yeah, fifth.
on the 14th, if you, there's a little old store on the very corner. And if you come, they'll give you a carry-out nice meal and a rose if you need to buy a rose for your spouse. For $10, you can get a meal and a rose. And it's to help begin starting to fund to build a new mercantile building on Main Street. So just to
When was it open?
Huh?
What happened to the road?
They'd like to build on Main Street so they can maybe attract a little more business. Yeah, today is converted to a house and, where they sell pop candy, a lot of crafts, they got a lot of neat crafts in there, so, but, yeah, that was in Cavalier's newsletter the last time, so. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Anything else? Yeah, that should be done. Anything further? Make a motion to adjourn at 2:55.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor, signify by saying aye. Carried 3-0.